The market broke me 4 times. 4 times it took everything: the money, the reputation, the certainty that I knew what I was doing. And 4 times I came back. Not because I was lucky, not because the market suddenly decided to be kind to me, but because somewhere between the ruin and the return I learned something most traders never learn. Not about stocks, not about charts, not about timing, but about themselves. If you are watching this because you want to make a living from trading, and I mean truly make a living, not gamble, not guess, not hope, then sit with me for a moment. What I am about to share with you is not theory. It is the blood and bone of everything I learned across decades of winning fortunes and losing them and winning them back again. Before I go further, I want you to do something. Go to the description of this video right now and look for our ebook, Thinking Like Jesse Livermore, Mastering the Market with Discipline, Patience, and Risk. That book was written as a direct companion to everything I will say in this video. Every principle I speak of here, the psychology, the discipline, the patience, it is laid out in full in those pages. And while you are there, you will also find the Livermore Journal, a 90-day trading psychology workbook. That journal is not reading material. It is a mirror. It will force you to confront the trader you are right now so you can build the trader you need to become. Both links are in the description. Do not overlook them. They will change your relationship with the market. Now, let us talk about what trading for a living actually means, because most people have it completely wrong. Trading for a living does not mean sitting in front of a screen all day, chasing every move, pressing buttons, feeling the rush of action. That is not trading. That is gambling with extra steps. I know because I lived that version of it early in my career. I was fast, I was instinctive. I made money in the bucket shops before I was 20 years old because I had a feel for the tape. But feel without framework is a candle in a hurricane. It burns bright for a moment and then it is gone. What trading for a living actually requires is this: a complete and total transformation of the way you think about money, time, risk, and yourself. Not a partial transformation. Not an intellectual understanding of transformation while your habits stay the same. A real, deep, uncomfortable rewiring of everything you believe about how the market works and what your role inside of it is. The market does not know you exist. I want you to feel that statement, not just hear it. The market does not owe you a profit because you studied hard, or because you need the money, or because you have been patient for 3 weeks. The market is indifferent. It is a mechanism that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient, from the emotional to the disciplined, from the impulsive to the calculated. That is all it does. And the moment you stop fighting that truth and start working with it, everything changes. I made my first serious fortune by understanding one thing that almost no trader in my era understood: the importance of the line of least resistance. The market, like water, always follows the path of least resistance. When stocks are being accumulated, when the big money is moving in quietly and the tape starts to tell the story before the newspapers do, the line of least resistance is upward. When distribution begins, when the smart money is unloading to the eager public, the line of least resistance turns down. Your job, your only job, is to identify which direction that line is pointing and align yourself with it. Nothing more. I want you to also watch our previous video on how I read the tape and identified market turning points. It is on this channel, and it will give you the foundational understanding you need to make sense of everything I am telling you here. Go find it after this. The principles build on each other. You cannot skip the foundation and expect the structure to stand. The traders who fail, and most of them do fail, I will not lie to you about that. They fail not because the market is unbeatable. It is not unbeatable. I beat it. Others have beaten it. They fail because they bring themselves into the trade. They bring their ego, their need to be right, their fear of missing out, their desperation for income, their impatience, their pride, all of that noise. And the market, that cold and indifferent machine, simply reflects it all back at them in the form of losses. I remember a time I watched a man in a brokerage office lose everything he had in a single afternoon because he refused, absolutely refused, to accept that he was wrong. The stock was telling him clearly, the tape was screaming at him, but his ego had married that position and he would not leave it. He sat there watching his capital evaporate like morning fog, and he did nothing because doing something meant admitting he had been wrong. That story is not unique. It plays out in every market, in every era, on every trading floor, and every screen in the world. The name changes, the outcome does not. If you are going to make a living from this, you must divorce your ego from your trades entirely. A loss is not a personal failing. It is information. It is the market speaking to you in the only language it knows. The question is whether you are listening. Listening to the market, truly listening, is a skill that takes years to develop, and it begins with understanding what the market is actually communicating versus what you want it to say. This distinction is the gap between the traders who survive and the ones who do not. I spent years learning to separate my desires from the data in front of me, and I will tell you honestly, it was the hardest discipline I ever cultivated. Harder than the mathematics of position sizing. Harder than reading the tape at speed. Harder than holding a winning position through the noise and the doubt. The hardest thing was learning to be wrong gracefully and move on without carrying the wound into the next trade. Here is something I want you to understand about the psychology of this work, and I encourage you to explore this more deeply in the Livermore Journal, a 90-day trading psychology workbook. The link is in the description. Go there, do the exercises. Do not just read and nod. The journal will ask you questions that will make you uncomfortable. That discomfort is the point. The market will make you far more uncomfortable if you walk in unprepared. So better to face your psychological liabilities in a journal than on a live position. The psychology of trading for a living comes down to this: your relationship with uncertainty. Every single trade you take is an act of uncertainty. You do not know what will happen. No one does. The professional trader is not someone who has eliminated uncertainty. The professional trader is someone who has made peace with it. They have built systems, rules, and disciplines that allow them to act decisively in the face of not knowing and to accept the outcome, win or loss, without it destabilizing them emotionally. I had rules. They were not complicated, but they were absolute. I never added to a losing position. Never. I see traders today who average down as though the act of buying more of something that is falling will somehow force the market to agree with them. It will not. A stock that is going down for a reason, and that reason is usually more powerful and more informed than any single trader's conviction. When a position moves against me, I cut it, cleanly, without negotiation, without the inner voice that says just give it one more day. One more day has destroyed more trading accounts than any other phrase in the history of speculation. I only added to winning positions. This is the mirror image of what most traders do, and it is critical. Most traders take profits too early because the profit feels good and they are afraid of giving it back. They let losses run because the loss feels bad and they cannot face making it real by closing the trade. I did the exact opposite. I let winners run and I cut losers short. That asymmetry, that simple, brutal asymmetry, is the engine of every sustainable trading career that has ever existed. I also want to say something about timing, because timing in this business is not about being clever. It is about being ready. There are long stretches in the market where the conditions simply do not favor the kind of trading that produces consistent results. During those periods, the professional trader does what almost no one has the discipline to do. Nothing. They wait. They preserve their capital. They study. They prepare. They do not force trades into an environment that is not giving clear signals because they are bored, or because they feel like they should be doing something, or because the mortgage is due. I have spoken about patience on this channel before, and I want you to go back and watch that video as well. You will find it here on the channel. Because patience is not passive. People think patience means sitting still and doing nothing. Real trading patience is active. It is the aggressive pursuit of the right moment. It is the discipline of saying no to 100 setups so that when the right one arrives, you have the capital, the clarity, and the conviction to act with real size. That is how fortunes are made. Not by being in the market every day, by being in the market on the right days, in the right direction, with the right position size. Speaking of position sizing, this is where I see so many aspiring traders make a catastrophic and completely avoidable mistake. They either risk too little, in which case even a good run of winners does not move the needle on their account enough to matter, or they risk too much, in which case a normal sequence of losses, which every trader experiences, wipes them out before their edge has any chance to play out. Neither extreme serves you. I sized my positions based on the quality of the setup and the clarity of the signal. When everything aligned, when the tape, the timing, the sector, and the broader market were all pointing in the same direction, I went in with conviction. When the signal was less clear, I reduced my size or I waited for a better opportunity. My position size was a direct expression of my confidence in the setup, not my confidence in being right, because you can never be certain of that, but my confidence that the setup met my criteria and that the trade made sense according to my rules. This is why you must have rules, not suggestions, not guidelines you follow when you feel like it. Rules that are so deeply ingrained that breaking them feels like a physical violation. I broke my own rules on several occasions in my career. Every time I did, it cost me, not sometimes. Every time. The market does not reward improvisation. It rewards preparation, discipline, and consistency. Go to the description now if you have not already and look at both of our ebooks. Thinking Like Jesse Livermore walks you through the construction of this kind of disciplined framework step by step. It is not a book about tips or shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. It is a book about building the architecture of a professional trading mind. And the journal, use it daily for 90 days. It will reveal patterns in your behavior that you cannot see from the inside, and once you can see them, you can change them. Let me bring this home because I have given you the philosophy and I have given you the mechanics, but none of it means anything until it lives inside you, until it is not something you read about, but something you are. And that transformation from someone who trades to someone who is a trader is the deepest work of this entire journey. I want to tell you something about what I learned in the moments after my greatest victories and my most devastating defeats, because those moments taught me more about this business than any winning streak ever could. After I made $10 million shorting the market in 1907, I did not feel invincible. I felt a deep and sobering awareness of how powerful and how dangerous this game truly was. The same forces that had made me rich could have destroyed me if I had been on the wrong side of them. That awareness never left me. It kept me sharp. It kept me humble in the way that only the market can teach humility. Not through words, but through consequences. The traders who last in this business are not the most brilliant. They are not the ones who understand the most complex strategies or have access to the best information. The ones who last are the ones who have confronted themselves honestly, who have looked at their own fear, their own greed, their own ego, and done the work to master those forces before the market exploits them, because the market will exploit them. It is extraordinarily efficient at finding the weakness in every trader's psychology and applying pressure directly to that point until either the trader breaks or the trader grows. You get to choose which one happens. That is the only real choice in this business. You cannot choose whether the market tests you. It will. You cannot choose whether you will have losing trades. You will. You cannot choose whether there will be periods of drawdown and confusion and self-doubt. There will be. The only thing you get to choose is whether you have done enough internal work, built enough structure, and developed enough discipline to hold together when all of those things arrive at the same time. And here is what I want you to know with absolute certainty. They can be held together. I know because I did it. Not perfectly, not without pain, but I did it. And every trader who has ever made a sustainable living from this market did it too. They built themselves into someone the market could not destroy. Not because they were lucky or because they found some secret formula. Because they took the inner work as seriously as the outer work. Because they studied not just the market, but themselves. That is what Thinking Like Jesse Livermore is truly about. Not just my strategies, but my psychology. The way I constructed my thinking so that I could function clearly under the kind of pressure that breaks most people. The link is in the description. If you have been watching this channel and you want to go deeper, and I mean genuinely deeper, not just longer, that book is where you go next. And the journal, 90 days, every day, honest entries about your trades, your emotions, your decisions. Do not skip a single day. The compounding of that self-awareness over 90 days is as powerful as the compounding of capital. It changes the foundation you stand on. I also want you to stay connected to this channel. Every video we put out here is built on the same principles I have spoken about today, but approached from different angles, different historical moments, different psychological challenges. Each one is a piece of a larger picture. Go back and watch our previous videos, particularly the ones on reading market cycles, on controlling emotion during volatility, and on the psychology of holding through a winning trade. Comment on those videos. Tell us what resonated with you. Tell us what you are struggling with. Your comments are not just engagement. They are a record of your thinking, and the act of articulating your challenges makes them smaller. And comment right here, right now. Tell me, what is the hardest part of this journey for you? Is it patience? Is it cutting losses? Is it sizing your positions with conviction? Leave it below. This community, traders who are serious, who are doing the inner work, who refuse to treat this as a hobby, is itself a resource. You are not alone in this. The market has existed for longer than any of us, and it will exist long after we are gone. It has no memory of yesterday's trade. It does not care about your history. Every single morning it opens fresh, neutral, indifferent, and full of possibility. That is the gift and the terror of it. You get to begin again. Every day you get to bring a better version of yourself to the work. A more disciplined version, a more patient version, a version that has learned from yesterday without being haunted by it. I built my fortune not once, but multiple times, because the market always gave me another chance when I came back to it prepared. It will give you that chance too. But preparation is not optional. Discipline is not optional. The inner work is not optional. These are the price of admission, and they are worth every moment of effort you pour into them. Go to the description, get the ebooks, watch the other videos on this channel. Come back here and leave a comment telling me what you found. Build yourself into someone the market cannot break. Someone who knows not just how to read a chart, but how to read themselves. Someone who does not chase the market, but moves with it, in alignment with its rhythm, in tune with its language. That person is who you are becoming, and when you get there, when you have done the work and built the discipline and made peace with uncertainty, the market will not feel like an enemy anymore. It will feel like the greatest teacher you have ever had, one that never lies, never flatters, never lets you get away with anything less than your best. And on the day when your best is finally enough, when your discipline is real and your patience is real and your risk management is real, you will know it, not because someone told you,